Hello and welcome to today's video. As you can see, I decided to, start where you could see my process in creating the world, so you guys can see that what today's video was not just a fluke. It wasn't me cheating. You could see how I questioned how to spell the word gray. I don't know how to spell that word, and I just put in a random seed. Random letters, random numbers. Good time, good time. Of course, I had to grab that bonus chest. Who doesn't want a bonus chest? And so there I go, putting on commands, because you know what? I'm not going to suffer. I'm not going to make myself suffer. It's a good time. And then we get my incredibly fun loading screen. Took ages, but at the same time it didn't. And I spawned in one of the worst places ever. I honestly hate spawning in these areas. I think they're a little tedious, and I hate the acacia wood, but that's a personal preference. I got this bonus chest. It's full of oak planks, some food, some really useful things, and honestly, I felt a little blessed because I was like, whoa, that's a lot of oak, and I was really, really happy about that. I set off pretty quickly and my search to find a beautiful little home, and I found it. I found it very quickly. It was exactly right there because I found a huge vein of coal, and I did not wander very far. I also found my first iron. Very quick, very lovely. I was very, very grateful. Didn't even do anything to deserve that, but you know what? Pick up all this coal, because sometimes you just have a lot of coal. Other times, you don't have a lot of coal. And I was not gonna pass up the opportunity to pick up a bunch of coal. And I grabbed some cobblestone and started emptying out the space to, open it up, because I decided I was gonna live in a hole on the side of a mountain. You heard that right, folks. A hole on the side of a mountain. Because I don't know how to build, and it's a good time. I genuinely have no plans to, learn how to build, but I'd made my essentials. I made myself a crafting bench and set that down in a nice little corner, because where else are you gonna do that? And first furnace, yeah, baby, gotta get that first furnace. And there I go, looking out at the sunset, and then doing stuff. Making a door, because I realized I'm not gonna live on the side of a mountain and not have a door. So that's what I did, and then I did a little bit of struggling to put that down, because sometimes you just gotta struggle a little bit, and that axe in my inventory that's just floating around didn't mean anything to me at this point. I didn't use it and forgot it existed for a couple of minutes. I very quickly started expanding my house, as one does when you live in a hole in the side of a mountain, and started making my first stone weapons and pickaxes and whatever else I needed, because you can't just stick with wood your whole life. And I picked up my first iron at this point, destroying the floor of my little cave. I didn't have any regrets for that, because I got a good vein of it, or at least this is what I would consider a good vein of it. And I lose my cobblestone for a second, only to find it buried back in my inventory exactly where it belonged. So I now have this bad cobblestone carpet in the middle of my floor. Following that, I realized I had basically no wood in my inventory after getting this chest and seeing that there are in fact trees down there, and hoping I would find an oak one. And I very quickly went around and I found some sheep and realized these would be really useful for a bed. And in fact, they were. And I got my trees and I got them very quickly. And then I wandered on the way home. And then, as one does, I lost my house. Yeah, so I had to wander around for a second, because it's really just a hole at this point, a hole in the wall, and I had no idea, and there I go finding it after like 5 minutes of searching, and yeah, it's just as ugly as I remember it being. I genuinely had no space in my house, and I was realizing this, and so I decided to start expanding, because what else am I supposed to do in a house this size? It's not a house, it's a hovel. And so I start going back some, and there's really nothing in this portion other than me digging backwards and then speeding it up. At some point I did place down my bed and make a spawn. I made my house noticeable from the outside because who would purposefully build an ugly thing like that other than me? There's a zombie that came to visit me because I found an underground cave system, which I covered back up because I really didn't need it. And then my house is bigger now, and that was a win for me. I decided that was a win, and I deserved to climb the mountain and figure out what was above me, because what if there was a village somewhere around here? But I wasn't really preoccupied with finding a village yet, and I'm still not. And then I find more iron. Yep, you heard that right. I go on a little journey, and I start taking the mountain's resources. I took a lot. There was a lot. And you know what? I'm not going to squander that. I'm just going to grab everything that I can. And it's just a lot of me mining. After I finished, decided I was done for now taking the mountain's resources, I decided I would go home because I had amassed quite a bit of iron and coal, and so I wanted to get that into my hut before I coincidentally died. And so I started smelting that to, start getting enough to make tools and armor. And then I made some torches to light up the area, or at least my house, because I really don't care about the area. This high up, it's a hit or a miss. I'm going to meet a mob and it's more likely going to be like a skeleton. And what are they going to do? Open my door? I think not. The worst I'm going to have to deal with is the cave underneath my house. And I would like to deal with that one day, but I could hit or miss it. There I go, making another stone pickaxe because my current one's almost dead from the amount of mining that I did with it. And then I make a sword. Yeah, baby. Now I can protect myself. I wasn't doing that previously, so sometimes you just gotta get a sword that you may or may not use. And so after doing that, I left, and you'll never guess what I did next. Are you ready? You ready for me to tell you? That's right. I went back up the mountain with my brand new pick to get more resources. Like I didn't already have enough, because you know what? Sometimes you just have to get more, and you never have enough, especially you have iron, because that stuff runs out quick. And so I kept getting iron. I kind of just skipped over the coal because there is a point I'm going to need more, but I didn't really need more at this point. I was just trying to get all my stuff together, and there's my first emerald. Found that. Let me know in the comments below what it takes to mine one of those. I didn't really get any, and there's my second one over there, but I didn't really get my emeralds that I found because I didn't want to use the wrong type of pickaxe and lose them, and then having wasted time on getting them, because they are pretty rare, and I had already found 2. And there I go back down the mountain to go in, and since it was starting to get dark, and then I realized that my house was a little dark, and so I grabbed my torches that I had made previously and start lighting up the area because it was a little dark. And I didn't really want to have an accidental mob spawning in my house because it's where I live. And for good measure, I placed one on top of the furnace because I like the way it looks. And then I smelted more iron. Yep, you see that number, right? I have way too much iron. And I was a little hungry here, so I ate all my bread, which is really unfortunate because now I'm out of bread and I should start making a farm, but I'm not at that point yet. I just gotta do it one day. And speaking of that, I have basically no food, and then I realized that my inventory was a little bit messy, and I questioned to myself, what is an armadillo scoot? What is that? And I decided I was going to clean up my inventory a little bit and get rid of my unneeded stuff, which I missed too, the door in the dirt, because what else was I supposed to do with life? And out I went on an adventure because, quick thinking, I had an adventure to go on, and I hadn't really left this mountain yet, except to get wood and kill a few animals to get some food. I really start skedaddling really, really quickly, and I find the quickest and easiest and simplest way down, and then proceed to take a dangerous path and find some lava. I really missed it, and I'm glad I didn't fall in. And then I start breaking myself on the shortest falls, which is unfortunate. But you know what? That's cool, because I like living life on the edge, and if I die from a short fall, I was not meant to live in the first place. And then my interest was piqued from this mountain in front of us, and so I head towards there, because adventure! Adventure was waiting, and I had to go and see what it was like over there, just in case there was really cool resources that it would be really nice to commandeer. And honestly, my house, I could see my home, my ugly little hut from there. You guys couldn't see it, but I definitely could, because there is something about a structure in the mountain that you definitely notice. And on my way up, I didn't have many hopes about this mountain and what it would have, and then I saw it. A cow, the holy grail, beef at its finest. So I decided, yep, I'm gonna get steak, and that these cows needed to go so that my livelihood, me as a person, could persist. And then I saw more iron and said, ooh, give me that, because I obviously couldn't have enough. And then I left that one cow because someone had to tell the others of the horrors it had seen. I saw another emerald and kept getting more iron, because I just had to get more iron, because I have no self-control, that's why. And then I found some calcite, and I was like, oh my goodness, maybe there's going to be an amethyst over here. And there just wasn't an amethyst. I'm probably going to go back over there at some point to check more, but I also have plans for that calcite. I get back to the house, and I start smelting more iron, because I just don't have enough. And then I execute my plan. I make myself a full set of iron armor. You heard it, folks. A full set of iron armor. First episode. You guys should be so proud, because this is the most you've ever seen me do in my Minecraft videos. In fact, this is very much an achievement for me. Look at me go. I'm so snazzy looking. Anyways, I just have a lot of iron, and I'm being so productive already. I'm actually very proud of myself, because let's face it, I have a habit of quitting very early on, and if you guys haven't noticed, I do plan, and then I just don't do anything after that. If I go back up the mountain of our beautiful iron fields that I definitely am plundering off the mountain. Like, at some point there's just going to be none left, and then I see a mesa in the background. Very nice, very nice. And then I keep going. I'm searching for a village in any direction. And so I kept going. I just kept going and wandering and hoping my frame rate didn't have another stroke. It was fine, I guess. It was just fine. I head back up here, and ooh, look, another scoot. I don't know what they're for. And then I find a ruined portal. Big treasure over there. I do like me some treasure. And so I head down the mountain again to go on my little adventure and find another emerald, because I'm just gonna be super rich. That's just my destiny. I'm gonna be super rich and hopefully not die anytime soon and lose all my precious riches. That would be really unfortunate. Unfortunately for me, I also have very big and dangerous plans. So whatever happens to my riches happens to my riches. I see the open ocean between me and my goal of a ruined portal, and realize that I could be got at any second by a drowned, and I realized that was a risk I was willing to take. The risk really wasn't there, though. I really made it with no issue. I thought I saw it drowned out of the corner of my screen, but I didn't, which was really nice. I struggled to get over to the chest, but eventually I did find it. I found it fairly quickly, actually. There's no eventually about it. I got some gold, a little bit of flint. I got some flint and steel, and I stole the chest. You guys can't expect more from me. I mentally bookmark where this place is, And, you know, so I can grab some of this beautiful, beautiful obsidian, seeing as I have just so little of it. I don't have any diamonds though, so I just have to remember where this place is. I jump on down and decide it's time to head home, and I head that direction and swim a little bit. I still worry about the drowned. I really don't want to have a run-in with them because I think they're really, really frustrating to deal with, because water zombies are not where it's at. On my way home, I found this little mesa place, and then I saw this dungeon piece. I was like, whoa, man, what are these spiders doing out here? And honestly, I thought this was a really good opportunity to get some more experience points. I do love me some experience points. I break all these down and realize that this is part of an abandoned mineshaft, and I do love me an abandoned mineshaft, so I go on a little adventure. And honestly, the highlight of this is there's nothing here. I always forget that the mesa ones have like nothing in them. They're already like emptied, and it's really usually kind of disappointing. But it is a good opportunity. It's like enrichment time for a ferret. I just run around and be insane for a second and make a really, really cool jump. I skedaddle over and I see this one that leads nowhere. I follow it for a second, but then I keep going. Because, you gotta when you have nothing better to do. They were just really dark and led basically nowhere with no treasure, which was really, really disappointing the whole time. Because even though there's usually nothing in them, there's just, you know, so much. And then I see a new ruin portal, like one of those really, really big ones. And those are always a good opportunity to find. But it was also getting dark, which was a problem because I don't like dealing with the dark. I didn't go down that one hole, but I didn't worry about it because there's nothing there. Regardless of that, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see next, and keep it classy.